this is a horror movie.
All right, let's go. Start.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome to 3 Shots in a Show, where we're going to discuss some movies and take some drinks. Today we are talking about Mandy. We both really love it, and so we're going to get started here with a little bit of Old Smoky Moonshine.
If I throw up, we will edit it out. Oh yeah, and this is presented by Sinister Sinema. You forgot to mention that, but this is our first episode.
Oh man. Cheers.
Cheers
to Mandy.
Shit.
It's like fire.
Oh shit. All right.
So Mandy, it was released in September of this year, 2018, the year of our Lord. Takes place in 1983 in the Shadow Mountains on Crystal Lake, which is kind of a iconic name for lakes in the horror genre. Got anything to add?
It's an amazing movie. It's like was made for Nicolas Cage. It's just a surreal. It's like an acid trip, I think. And there's many different ways you can see the movie for what it is. Why don't you?
Well, I mean, let's start with like the overview of the movie. It's a love story / revenge film where Nicolas Cage's character is Red Miller, and him and his wife Mandy, or girlfriend Mandy, they live out in the middle of nowhere. They kind of seem very happy just being alone. This leader of the cult becomes obsessed with her. He ends up trying to kidnap her. She rejects him. They kill her, and the rest is Nick Cage's character Red on a rampage trying to destroy everything he can that is associated with them.
A lot of people I've talked to really didn't care for it. I've heard some people walked out of the theater because it was really slow and boring at the beginning. But if you really look into it, like a lot of the scenes at the beginning of the movie are just them staring at each other and talking to each other laying in bed, and it's setting it up for you to know that his character Red is like totally obsessed with her and madly in love with her.
Yeah.
And that's why he goes on this revenge killing spree after she dies.
Yeah.
So if people were to just chill out and get past like the first 30 minutes, 45 minutes of the movie, I mean, just even though there's not a lot of dialogue, there's not a lot of dialogue, it's still the scenery and the lighting and the mood. It's just amazing.
What did you think? Actors, a lot of good actors in it. Who stands out to you, and who, you know?
I thought played by what's his name?
Linus Roche or Roche.
I think it's Roche. I'm pretty sure it's Roche.
Let's just go with Roche.
I don't want to say his name is Roach. I think if I was born with the last name Roach and I became a famous movie star, I'd want to change it.
Joe Dierte.
I thought he did a really good job. And he played the father, Thomas Wayne, in the Batman Begins Christopher Nolan series, which is really cool because we'll get into this later, but the chemist in the movie, I can't remember his name now. Anyway.
Richard Brace.
Yeah. He played the killer that killed Thomas Wayne in Batman Begins, and they're in the same movie. They don't have any scenes together, but it's still awesome. Mandy, played by Andrea
Riseborough or Riz?
Yes, Andrea Riseborough. If you don't know this, she was also in Oblivion with Tom Cruise, but she looks totally different I don't know. It looks like she didn't use any makeup on her, and I think it's amazing. Like, she's a beautiful, beautiful actress, and it just makes her look so much different from Oblivion. And then, of course, you have Nicolas Cage, who is always amazing in all his movies. I don't care what anybody says. People hate Nicolas Cage. I don't give a shit. He's an amazing actor. Except for that one movie he made where he gets left behind after Jesus takes everybody, and he's in the plane.
Left Behind.
Is it?
Yeah, Left Behind. It was originally a Kirk Cameron miniseries for, I think, the Christian Network or something. But yeah, they remade it into a blockbuster.
But it made like $12.
Yeah,
I think it made
probably.
like $12.
I think it made $666. So yeah, Nick Cage. Obviously, I love Nick Cage. Con Air, Leaving Las Vegas, Raising Arizona, Wild at Heart.
Raising Arizona is my favorite comedy
adaptation. I mean, like, actually award-winning, great movies. All the National Treasure, and
it's like that.
you know, there's some cheesy ones, but there's some great ones.
Peggy Sue Got Married.
Richard Brace, the chemist, he's an amazing actor. He's been in 3 of Rob Zombie's movies. 31, Halloween Part 2.
Doom. He was in Doom.
2009. He was in Doom.
He played that one of the soldiers.
He's the Night King from Game of Thrones. Just, you know, he's all over the place. The Ice King with the little ice.
No shit,
yeah,
that's him.
What
the fuck? I didn't know that.
Ned Dennehy, who is Brother Swan.
Take a good look, you worthless piece of human excrement.
He's going to be playing Haster in Good Omens. That's supposed to be coming out later this year.
I cannot wait for that.
Greatest book if you haven't.
If you haven't read the book, you need to read the book.
I hope they do it justice.
There's only one series of books that they ever made. They ever made into that they ever made into movies that totally kicked ass was the Harry Potter series.
Harry Potter.
And Lord of the Rings.
The other thing, I don't know if you noticed, because I didn't even notice whenever it was on, Castor, the guy in the trailer who gives him his crossbow back. Did you realize who that was?
Yeah, it's the guy from...
it's Duke!
From Predator.
Yeah, Bill Duke from Predator. The one of the best gun scenes ever in a movie. He's also in another Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Commando. I eat green berets for breakfast, whatever, you know. And Commando, that's one where he's saving his daughter, Alyssa Milano.
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
And like, that's one of the best kills in any movie I've ever seen. He's in a work shed, grabs a saw blade from a circular saw off the wall and throws it and cuts a guy's head. That was good.
It doesn't work. It's not real.
No, it's not real, but...
I've tried it before.
As far as the crew goes, directed by... I'm going to mess this up. Panos Cosmatos. I don't really know how to pronounce Greek names that well.
This is his second film, right?
It's his second film, and I believe only the third film he's ever worked on. His first film was Beyond the Black Rainbow. It's kind of a masterpiece on the visual and the soundtrack. I don't really like the story that much because I couldn't figure out what the hell was going on.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I feel bad.
So I'm not going to talk about it.
It's just like an acid trip. Like
maybe he does a lot of acid.
Kubrick.
Yeah, it's very...
Filmed a Watain concert.
Panos is the son of George Cosmatos, who was the director of Cobra, the Sylvester Stallone movie.
No shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
What the hell?
Wait, it gets better. Rambo First Blood Part 2, the best Rambo movie. Also Tombstone.
Holy crap.
That is also the first film that Panos worked on in the second camera unit.
Oh, that's cool. Speaking of Rambo, there's a rumor going around Rambo 5. Rambo versus a werewolf.
We'll see how that goes. So another cool pivotal part that we'll get into is the Cheddar Goblin scene, which has become kind of its own weird cult following Instagram sensation.
If they don't make a real Cheddar Goblin mac and cheese, I would be really disappointed.
Cheddar Goblin has become one of those weird things that's only in the movie for a few moments, and it's like this whole
Not
cult.
even like a minute.
Yeah, it's already got this whole cult following. Like people making
like
toys.
Instagram, right?
There's an Instagram where they're actually using the. It's crazy. So, anyways, Cheddar Goblin, that was written by Chris Kelly and Paul Painter, who are from Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell, the Squidbillies, Aqua Teen Hunger Force. They work on Adult Swim type stuff. They're the ones that were brought in to do the whole Cheddar Goblin scene, which I know you're a huge fan of. Your Pretty Face is Going to Hell.
Have you ever seen
your
that
Halloween
show?
costume this year?
You need. I think I'm gonna change it. I think I told you.
You did? Elijah Wood was one of the producers in his company Spectre Vision.
Who did? He did the remake of Maniac, and he acted in it. That was him.
Yeah, he's a big fan of the indie horror genre. They had a Spectre Fest. It was like a horror. I think the last one was in 2016. They did a festival of some shows. They've produced The Boy. Have you seen that on Netflix?
No,
LFO.
I don't really watch a lot of new horror.
Yeah.
New horror, because it's usually really lame, jump scares, and it just pisses me off because people eat this shit up. They eat it up, and I'm like, it is so bad. It's so bad.
But that makes you not watch the good stuff.
No, well, you see, then Mandy comes along, and if you know what the director is and what he's done, then you're interested in watching it.
Yeah.
And then you watch it, and you're like, holy fuck, this is a horror movie.
Yeah.
Sci-fi, rock and roll, fucking 80s metal.
Did you see A Girl Walks Home Alone in the Dark?
No, I have not seen
That's
that.
another one
I
that
know,
they produced.
That's, oh really?
Yeah, that's from Spectre Vision. I love that he's like this huge actor that's one of the most recognizable faces in the world if you're not confusing him with Harry Potter. And
I think it's cool because he does a lot of really low independent movies
that's the
now.
thing, is he does crazy. I mean,
like if anybody's seen Sin City, he plays that killer.
He's the one that brought the script to Nick Cage, from what I've read, and had Nick Cage read it. Nick Cage loved it.
He read all 7 sentences.
You know,
and
and
like,
yeah.
I am totally down.
Yeah, and so like, you know, I feel like you said, it's like this role was meant for Nick Cage. It's just a great role for Nick Cage. And
yeah, I don't.
like,
I still. It just blows my mind how people don't like him. I've talked to so many of my friends and said, "Have you seen Mandy?" And they're like, "I can't stand Nick Cage." And I was like, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
people either love or hate Nick Cage. So I think it's about time for another shot of the White Lightning.
And if you haven't figured out yet, we're doing this. We're drinking shots of moonshine because of the movie.
Yeah, Moonshine and
He's
Mandy.
a fucking lumberjack.
Yeah, so...
Oh, I have to take one?
Yeah. I'm not in this alone.
Yeah.
There's no flavor.
It's
just rubbing alcohol.
It is. It's just rubbing alcohol.
I mean, that might just be rubbing alcohol.
And we're drinking giant glasses of Jack and Coke to wash it down. Actually, it's my homemade sweet tea. Look for it in your family supermarket.
Okay, so the last thing I want to say about any of the crew members is Johan Johansson, who did the soundtrack.
What else has he done?
He did The Arrival.
Oh fuck! If you haven't seen that movie,
which was awesome.
You need to watch that movie.
Great movie, and Sicario.
Oh,
I mean, he's done a litany of things. He's got the whole dark synth thing going on in it, and it's great. It's like one of the things that really makes the movie. Between that, the cinematography, the lighting, it's just all around good. The acting. But Johan died of a cocaine overdose.
cocaine and
and
meds.
Yeah, which I find slightly ironic, given the cocaine use in the film.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. No, well, there's one scene.
Yeah.
That does make put Scarface to shame.
Yeah. So he died less than a month after the film premiered at Sundance, and several months before the theatrical release. So that's sad.
Went out like a party animal.
Yeah, went out. Hopefully.
All right, tell me what you thought. Tell me your thoughts on the movie. Tell me what you think everything meant.
Okay.
Because I know my view is totally different from yours. And your view, by the way, just fucking blew my mind. And I'm just like, holy shit.
So, okay, most of the reviews are just straightforward. He kills these people, he goes, he gets angry, whatever. I do feel like there is that surface level of the movie. And then I started looking at it. I have a crazy theory where Nicolas Cage's character Red is symbolic of one of the horsemen of the apocalypse, death, and is been kind of pulled away from his life as death, and because he has found this mortal woman who is Mandy, who has pulled him into this reality of kind of being normal and living and not doing the things he was told to do by, or that he's supposed to be doing. And I see this because there's a lot of things. There's the drawings Mandy does, like the multi-eyed wolf, which could be the Archangel Azrael, who's supposed to be a multi-eyed angel, who is the angel of death. There's all the other riders on the motorcycles, which I know there's 4 of them, but in the Bible there are 4 horsemen. There are 4 horsemen riding with Hades following, swallowing up the souls. So technically there's the 4 horsemen and the 5th. Well, Death is pulled out of this and is living this normal life until his normal life gets disrupted, and then he goes on his killing spree. There's other things that make me think this. One, his weapon. It's like a stylized scythe, which Death carries a scythe.
I see it more like an axe, but
that's what I mean. That's the thing. That's like, I'm not claiming to be some genius. I'm just
No, but it's good. It's good. And I can also see where you come from, because Jeremiah, he portrays himself as a new Messiah.
Yep.
Because he's a failed fucking folk hippie singer.
Yeah.
Then him saying he was like the carpenters.
Yep.
And Jesus was a carpenter.
Jesus was a carpenter.
Yes,
and he's saying, I'm better than the carpenters.
So he's trying to portray himself as a new Messiah. Yes.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah. And
yeah.
So that's where I see where you come from that. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, and then there's other things. There's his favorite planet is Jupiter. Jupiter is also known as Jove, which means god of the sky. And then at one point he's called the Jovan warrior. So he's the warrior of the god of the sky, which would be
by the chemist, right?
By the chemist. So that could be, if he's the warrior of the god of the sky, he could be the angel of death. There's all these things
you also
that point.
Said when they're burning in the movie, he wants Mandy. There's a scene when he's talking to her. They give her LSD in her eye, and then they bring out this crazy fucking beetle. Giant beetle wasp.
The wasp.
And they tell her it's the cherry on the top.
Yeah.
Cherry on the topping, right?
I like to call this the cherry on top.
Yes, and she's just tripping balls, and he's talking to her, and in that scene, it's like at least a 5 to 7, 10-minute scene, where they're like morphing back into each other.
Yeah.
You're looking at Jeremiah, and he starts morphing into Mandy, and then morphing back into him. he disrobes, and they show his penis for like
lots of penis.
Probably for like 45 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
it's like,
you know, the longer,
it's a good hour of penis.
The longer the penis is on the screen, the longer you're gonna want to look at it. That's all there is to it. I don't even know where I was going with that.
No, we've already had like whatever this is. 50%
No, what was I
alcohol.
getting at? Shit, hold on.
Were you backing up my theory?
Yeah,
or?
what were you talking about again? Yeah, I'm already getting fucking drunk.
There's also whenever Jeremiah asks her what she sees when she's, been kidnapped and
Oh,
and
now I
drug-
remember. All right. After she laughs at him because of his wiener or whatever, he takes her outside in front of Red in a sleeping bag, ties her up, burns her alive, and then he pulls out the dagger of...
He says it's the dagger of the pale knight.
Yes, and stabs him in the ribs
Yeah.
like Jesus on the
Yeah.
cross. So that kind of like backs up your...
Yeah, and he says like, well, I mean, I'll get a little more into that, but he says like something about Jesus's biggest problem was like he didn't offer up a sacrifice in his stead. Instead of, he was the sacrifice. So that, and then stabs him in the side where Jesus was stabbed and killed. And I have some thoughts on that about how it leads to Jeremiah. But
I kind of see that as, what if he died when he got stabbed?
Yeah.
And then from then on, it's just...
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. I think at that point he's died, and he's reborn as his real self, which is death. In my mind, it's a lot of lore and religion, like, kind of combined into one thing, without being super direct about it. When you start looking into all the folklore and Greek mythology and everything that can come behind that, it's just really, it can be really deep, even though it doesn't need to be.
So after they burn her alive, he goes to her burnt body, touches her skull, and it disintegrates. He goes inside. That's where he sees the Cheddar Goblin commercial.
Yeah, Cheddar Goblin.
And he's just like he's dead. Like he's
Yeah.
out of it. It has no feeling, no nothing. He just utters Cheddar Goblin. Because he's looking at the commercial. He goes into the restroom, which is an amazing scene of him going through all the phases. Anger, where he grabs a bottle underneath, which made me think like he is an alcoholic, or he was, because there's a bottle hidden in the restroom.
In the bathroom.
In the bathroom, underneath a cabinet. He pulls out a bottle of liquor and chugs it, like drinks almost the whole bottle. Screams, goes into crying, and then finally going into like, I want revenge.
Yeah. And that's a great scene. Like that's that to me that's one of the best scenes in the movie. And
it's one continuous shot.
Yeah, that's why
amazing.
it's the colors of the bathroom.
And he's just in underwear and a shirt.
Yeah. He
He gathers his thoughts, goes to Duke from Predator.
Duke, yeah.
Tells him he needs the Reaper.
Yep.
Which is his crossbow.
Which Grim Reaper, death.
Yes. Damn you. It's all making sense now.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I still have my own theories, which is awesome.
Your theories are wrong.
Tells him he needs to hunt down a cult freaks, Jesus freaks, pure evil. And Duke knows who he's talking about, the Black Skulls. This is where my theory comes in. They were once human, very full of pain and hurt. And they started changing. And this is where I think this is what's happening to Red. He's been hurt severely. Like, he lost the love of his life. Like I said at the beginning of the movie, there's hardly any kind of dialogue. It's just him gazing into her eyes, listening to everything she says. And I think he's starting to transform into one of these Black Skulls. So he finds out where they are. He goes and he hunts them down with a Reaper. And he finds him, shoots one, takes him down, comes back around in his bitchin' ass Bronco, tries to run him over. I don't know what kind of armor he's wearing, or see, this is another kind of makes me think what you said, Four Horsemen, because he hits the guy and flips the damn Jeep or the Bronco.
By hitting
him in the road. And next thing you know, he wakes up handcuffed to a pipe in some kind of warehouse fucking trailer, fucking Appalachian Mountains trailer park. He's handcuffed to a pipe, and this also makes me think of your theory. He's nailed down to the floor. There's a nail through his hand.
Like he's Jesus?
Yes.
Or like he's a Jesus type character.
And he tries to get done and go ahead.
I do have a question for you.
What?
Do you feel like when you watch this movie that you feel like it's in a like Appalachian Mountain type situation?
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. For some reason, which makes the Moonshine much better. But
you didn't plan that?
No.
Are
I
you
just
fucking
thought,
serious?
yeah, Mandy and Moonshine. It just sounds good. But yes, I think they're kind of hillbilly-ish. So that's. But I was thinking more that it was.
No, I think
that they were like in an Alaska type situation.
No, I see it as straight up
hillbilly. Okay. There is a trailer there.
Hillbilly rock star. Come on, man. Where they have him chained up? You don't even know where the fuck he's at. He's like in some kind of warehouse, and the next thing you know, when he escapes, one of the Black Skull members, or AKA Four Horsemen, comes up to him, grabs him, and in this crazy fucking demonic voice tell him he has a death wish.
Yeah. Oh, do you have a death wish?
And
or you have a death wish?
He fucking tells him, what does he tell him? Don't tell me that.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want to talk about that.
I don't want to talk about that right now.
Right now. Yeah.
And he breaks loose, fucks him up with a pipe, throws him down a shaft. He fucking yanks his hand out of the nail, goes into it. Suddenly changes. They're not in that warehouse type. Like he's on a grate, and then he goes in and it looks like he's in a fucking goddamn trailer. A fucking
like
single wide trailer, and the fucking one of the other Black Skulls is sitting there watching porn, like crazy fucking porn, jerking off his blade dick. He has this giant blade dick.
Yeah, very
doing a huge ass pile of cocaine.
Like just bending down and
just shoving his face into cocaine, and Nicholas or Red comes behind him, is about to fuck him up, and he knows he's behind him and gets up.
He sees his reflection in the TV.
Oh, yeah.
I think is what it is.
Okay, because he wasn't paying attention to the porn, because I wouldn't even know his reflection. Anyway, they start fighting. Crazy fighting, trying to stab Red with his blade dick.
Yeah. And
falls on top of him. Red cuts his throat. All his blood falls all over his face, which I think his blood is pretty much all fucking LSD. If you think about it, it's all in his face.
Cocaine.
He's drinking it, going in his eyes and his nose, and he just laughs maniacally. Throws him off. Goes and does a huge ass pile of cocaine, and the other guy he threw down the shaft shows up, starts fighting him, and I
breaks his neck like Bruce Lee.
See, that's one of the only flaws I say about this movie is he killed like they're supposed to be like superhuman demonic LSD freaks, and it's cool the way he killed him. He does it like fucking Kung Fu style, Bruce Lee, breaks his neck. And he goes to the table, sees this jar of LSD. Oh yeah, and at the beginning of the movie, that jar of LSD comes into play, because when they go and kidnap Mandy, that's what they want. Yeah. That's what they ask for.
They're addicted to the LSD.
Going back to talking, when he goes to visit Duke to pick up the Reaper, Duke mentions they were normal people with pain, and the chemist that made the LSD for him disliked them and made a special batch, and it totally changed them. Well, I was thinking maybe after he kills the first Black Skull biker that threw down the shaft, that came back and tried to kill him and breaks his neck off fucking Bruce Lee Kung Fu style. After that, he goes, finds that LSD jar, dips his finger in it and tastes it, and his fucking face melts. Like, it just melts. I was thinking they were still giving him that same kind of LSD because they were getting it from the chemist.
Mm-hmm.
The chemist was still making him that fucked up LSD, and even though Nicolas Cage just tasted a bit, I think it already fucked him up and altered him, and he was starting to already change into one of the Black Skulls.
Okay, do you want to hear my theory on
Yes.
that?
I want to hear your fucking theory on that.
So Jeremiah, in my theory, Jeremiah is Satan.
Satine.
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 There's multiple things where he's talked about how God has given him power over this realm, which is power over the earth, which is very biblical. Like Satan rules the earth. But the four horsemen don't belong to him, even though they're the ones that would bring about apocalypse. They belong to God. They're part of God's army, even though they're the destructors and everything. So Satan whips up this batch of LSD so he can control them. And the only one he's not controlling right now is Death, which would be Nicolas Cage in my theory. But when he takes the LSD and tastes it, he sees all kind of stuff. He sees the tower where they are. He sees it flashes all that stuff in front of him. Jeremiah also says multiple times, you don't have a soul. And angels of death don't have a soul. They're a different type of being than a human with a soul. In my theory, the LSD is the apple, and it puts knowledge into their mind. So he tastes the LSD, which would be the apple that Adam and Eve took, that ate and gave them knowledge of the world. It gives him the knowledge to see what's all going on around him and where they are and where to find the chemist and all that stuff.
If you're going to say that, then wouldn't the chemist be the serpent that gives him the apple?
The chemist is... I don't know how the chemist plays into it.
Because when he goes... After he takes the LSD, all these visions flash in his head, and it shows some kind of weird hanger instantly, and that's where the chemist is. After that happens, he goes outside. The third biker is outside waiting for him. Nicolas Cage shoots him in the throat first with the arrow, with the Reaper.
Even really
and he pulls it out, and all this blood just starts gushing out. Nothing happens to him. He just whatever. Sets him on fire. Black Skull starts laughing, severs his head, turns around, sees the hanger, goes inside. There's a fucking tiger in a cage in there.
Yep.
And at the beginning of the movie, the shirt he was wearing had a tiger on it. So I think when he releases the tiger doesn't attack Nicolas Cage. It just leaves because
Nicolas Cage is the tiger.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage is the tiger. Doesn't harm the chemist. Just stands there listening to him. That's where he says, "You're a Jovan warrior."
Yeah.
And there's a scene where he's like, "Yeah, North." He just says that.
Yeah.
So it's like he's reading his mind.
Yeah, it's like the chemist is reading his mind.
And I think it's because they're all intertwined because of this LSD. It's a hell of a drug, LSD, especially that stuff he made.
Yeah. It was goopy.
So Nicolas Cage is already fucked just from Red's already fucked from drinking that. That's why he's slowly but surely he after that scene, that's when he goes and he starts taking care of the rest of the cult followers.
Mm-hmm.
He kills Swan, which he shoves the end of the axe down his throat, out the back of his fucking head. And he lets Lucy, right? That's her name, Lucy? I think it was Lucy. The Sister Lucy? I think. Well, he lets her go because she's just a follower. She had nothing to do.
I think she was kind of in the same camp as Mandy. Like, he probably saw her because he's Satan, he saw her as a pure soul that he wanted to possess. And he took her... And she didn't have a choice, because if you look at when when he says, "Do you want to know what love is?" and he gives her the
that's
revolver,
right. We left that out too. Yeah.
She looks terrified. She doesn't look like she loves him. She looks like she's terrified of him. Even though she's going along with some of the bad stuff, especially when they first kidnap Mandy, but she's also probably all tripped out on the LSD. He lets her go because he sees that she's kind of in pain. You see her crying a couple times. You see her like she doesn't want to be there, and she's being forced to be there. She was soup du jour whenever she was found, just like probably the older woman was.
Yes, and speaking of her, he kills one more of the cult members by throwing his axe at his fucking head and splitting it open.
Too quick.
Yeah.
Too quick. Like, to me, that was too quick. Like, that cult member is like...
He was one of the...
It's a piece of crap.
Mullet
yeah,
boy.
the mullet guy.
Mullet boy.
Listening to Tejano music, which was weird.
Bitchin' ass fucking souped up Lincoln something.
Yeah, but that guy is just like standing there polishing his car, and then the next second he's dead. I feel like that was a little bit too quick. But
yeah,
like,
and then the next one he goes after, which is pretty cool. It's a chainsaw fight. Chainsaw fight was cool. Kills him pretty gnarly, and he finally gets to the temple, Jeremiah's temple, and it's real, just nothing but red lights and crosses, and he runs into the older cult member. She stops him, starts telling him pretty much she was the first one. I was an amazing lover. I could do whatever I wanted. Just by my touch, I could feel what you wanted. I was the ocean. I could flow around you. And it just cuts. And they show Jeremiah in this room, and then the bitch's head rolls. The cold bitch head, old bitch head rolls in, and Jeremiah's like, what the fuck? See, Red's fucked. He's already like, doesn't give a fuck. He's already turning into one of these fucking bikers. And Jeremiah's like, do you know who I am? Trying to convince him who he is. You have nothing. And then it just goes from that to pure, I'll suck your dick, bro.
He's like, he goes from like, this is the path that led you here, you're supposed to be here, I can show you the way, to he's afraid he's gonna die, and it's like
No, it's literally, I'll suck your dick, bro. And that's when that's when I realized his voice sounds like one of the bikers.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage's voice sounds like one of the bikers.
And he's grabs him. What does he tell? I can't remember what he tells him.
He grabs him, and he's like holding his head, like kind of squeezing him, and he says, I'm your god now.
And he fucking crushes his fucking skull, and his eyeballs pop out, and blood, and fucking guts.
Another goes back to my theory, even though I said I was done talking about it, where Mandy's reading the book called The Eye of the Serpent. He squeezes his head, and one eyeball pops out. And if he's Satan, that's the Eye of the Serpent pops out. I don't know. I don't know.
No, it's good. That's great. You see it like that. I see it as just fucking crazy LSD rock and roll fucking movie. Vengeance, revenge. Nicolas Cage is fucked now. He's gonna be one of those bikers. He just needs to go buy one of his fucking souped up Suzuki's.
Oh, and the other thing is, whenever Nicolas Cage kills the three, there's three of them dead, and he puts on the leather jacket in the house. Just for one split second, you see the back of the jacket, and it has the signet of Satan on it that the bikers are wearing. That kind of makes me believe they could be under Satan's control.
No, that's good. That's good. And so after that, he sets the temple on fire, which goes back the foreshadowing. There's a lot of fire in the movie. Lots of fire in the movie. There's just scenes of this whole screen is just fire. At the beginning, the foreshadowing of when Mandy's coming out of the lake or the whatever river she's coming out of. There's a flame in front of her, and Red's just staring at her. So there's a lot of flames in this movie. So he leaves, takes off, driving in the car, and he has a flashback of, I guess, the first time meeting Mandy.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what that's supposed to be. It seems like he's probably.
It's just him.
This is the very
end of the movie. I think it's just him, like,
yeah,
I'm done. I fucking.
I've done what I'm supposed to do.
Yes, but then he turns and he looks while he's driving. He sees her staring at him in the car, and he's all nice and cleaned up, and then it changes to where he's just staring at her with these crazy fucking eyes.
Yeah, with that smile.
Blood all over his face, this maniacal look. And that's when you realize, well, yeah, this dude's fucked. Like, he's lost his fucking mind. You see the background of planets. There's like 3 planets, all these crazy mountains. And, yeah, that's
It's like he's in a different plane at that point.
Yeah,
I mean, he's like...
fucked from the LSD.
Yeah.
Like, he's eventually going to turn into. That's what that's what I think. He's going to turn into one of these Black Skull guys.
Okay, so we're on our third shot here of Old Smoky Tennessee Moonshine.
Which I totally thought is why you got that, because of where Mandy was.
Yeah.
But now that I think about it, I mean, it could have been an Alaskan type.
I don't know. Who knows? They could be living on a different plane of existence for all I know.
Yeah, who says they're... Maybe they're in another fucking dimension where there's crazy fucking LSD demon bikers. That's the kind of world I want to live in.
Cheers. Oh my god. So,
if y'all ever wanted to know what Nair tastes like, just buy some of that stuff.
Now's the point in the show where we review the alcohol before giving you our final summary on the movie. What we have here is Old Smoky Tennessee Moonshine in from Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's actually, I mean, it's harsh. It's 50% alcohol. It's really strong. We've drank, I guess, half a bottle since we've started this review. You still gotta go to work, right?
Do I? It's cool. I work at a hospital.
He takes care of the elderly.
Yeah.
So it's actually, it's not bad. It definitely is straight by itself. It definitely has a rubbing alcohol flavor. I mean, it's not aged. It's put straight in this bottle. It's white. It was given to me.
I seriously think they just go to Walgreens and buy all the 90% rubbing alcohol and pour it in a fucking jar. And the only thing they spend money on is the fucking labels.
Okay, so yes, it tastes a lot like rubbing alcohol. But I've had it with mixers, and it's really good. It actually tastes really great with San Pellegrino Limonatica.
Gesundheit.
Thank you. Which that on ice, and just literally about a 50-50 mix of that, and this is really good, I think.
So why didn't we fucking do that then?
Because this is three.
Why did you make me drink that?
This is 3 shots in a show, not 3 mixed cocktails in a show.
I kind of like that title better.
3 mixed cocktails in a show?
Yeah.
Well, too bad.
We can wear like bow ties and shit. Now I know why there's a lot of incest up in the Appalachians. Cause
yeah, what did you say it tasted like to you earlier?
If you ever wanted to know what incest tastes like, there you go.
We're both very lightweight, so we don't drink that much, which makes this all that much more fun.
I get drunk on 2 Dos Equis, so I'm going to rate that taste-wise, no shot glasses. Getting fucked up-wise, 4 shot glasses. So yeah, I recommend it.
It's not mellowed on wood. It's not flavored with anything. I mean, this is straight alcohol. It's very strong. Flavor-wise, I would rate it 1 shot glass. Getting you fucked up wise, I'm gonna say 4 out of 5 shot glasses on that one.
I'm gonna go ahead and rate my sweet tea while we're at it. My sweet tea is the shit. I'm gonna go ahead and rate that 4 tumblers.
So, just want to wrap this up with our final thoughts on the movie. I loved this movie. I can't remember. I saw it once without you when I betrayed your trust.
That really hurt my feelings. I still think about that every once in a while. I think maybe that's why I have insomnia. I waited for you, Doug. You can edit that out.
Did you?
Or you can leave it in. But that hurt my feelings. I fucking waited for you.
Jesus.
And you just...
Okay, so I've seen it 4 times then.
So that's why when the dick scene, I just stared at it the whole scene to hurt myself. And it's a long scene. We saw it at Paper Tiger, and for like the first 15 minutes they were showing it. I was looking at a tree.
Overall, great movie. I mean, amazing. I would recommend it to anybody. I've watched tons of reviews online about it. Some people talk about Nicolas Cage overacting, which that's
what he fucking does.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's the best thing about Nicolas Cage.
Did you not see Kick-Ass?
Yeah, great movie, great cast, great acting. Direction is amazing. Lighting's amazing. That bathroom shot, the cinematography on that bathroom shot with that wide-angle lens.
Same for me. Amazing movie. It's like watching an Asia album cover come to life. Just a scene where he releases the fucking tiger. They show the tiger roaring in front of a fucking sun, and it's at night.
Yeah.
And the tiger's roaring in front of a goddamn sun. It's an amazing direction.
Yeah.
Production, special effects, score. It's just everything in the movie. And Nicolas Cage. GQ, right? The magazine GQ.
Yeah.
They came out with this YouTube series, and it's an actor talking about their best movies they've ever acted in.
Oh yeah.
Well, Nicolas Cage just did one. He talks about the scene where he told the director, what's his name, PC?
Yeah, PC.
He tells PC, hey man, I think in this scene when I kill this guy, we should do like an old school Bruce Lee kung fu kill.
It looks exactly like it.
You zoom in on me with my face after I break his neck.
Yeah.
And the director's like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
I'm looking forward to what the director brings next. I'm looking forward to, I'm really excited about Elijah Wood's production company. It looks like they've done a lot with some independent films. Oh, and I didn't even bring it up. The movie The Trust. Have you seen that? It's a movie with Elijah Woods and Nick Cage, where they're police officers that decide to rob these criminals.
Fuck no, I don't
Oh, dude, it's great. It's fucking great.
I think Elijah
really
Wood should redo the Lord of the Rings series and make it into a romantic comedy.
Oh.
Frodo and Sam. I think it'd be a fucking blockbuster.
LOTR. The love story.
Yes.
Sam loves Frodo.
No, I think it's Frodo loves Sam.
What? Sam! Here's my favorite part of that movie. It's like the close-up on Sam's lips, and it's like, share the load. Overall, I give this movie 5 out of 5 points of the star.
Same here. 5 out of 5. Do yourself a favor and watch it. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah.
But just get past the first fucking 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
The only movie I've almost ever walked out of was that new Godzilla movie.
Really?
I didn't like he had fucking thunder thighs. Godzilla does not have fucking thunder thighs.
Dude, my Godzilla has thunder thighs. Oh wait, it's the wrong one. Look at that shit. I gave my Godzilla thunder thighs.
I was at the draft house. If my fucking Alamo Burger hadn't shown up, I was about to walk out. I recommend the Alamo Draft House every single time.
Alamo Draft House is the best.
Alright, so that's it. Next week, we will be fucking reviewing Never Been Kissed with Drew Barrymore.
Yeah, which is a great coming-of-age story of a 30-something-year-old who goes back to high school.
Because she's never been kissed. She actually encountered an extraterrestrial. And that's what fucked her up.
It fucked her up.
And they tried to tell her this fucking really didn't happen.
The ET wasn't real, but it was real.
It was real, so
and
she
so
started doing a bunch
doing
of
cocaine.
Bunch of blow. I think she won an Oscar for that.
She won an Oscar, like the Golden Popcorn.
At the end, she finally kisses somebody, and she won Best Kiss for the MTV.
And it was
Awards.
50. She kissed him 50 times.
Yes, and it stars Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore, and an alien from outer space.
And Adam Sandler falls in love with. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Bob Barker.
Yeah,
Bob Barker works at SeaWorld in that one.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. Well, that's it, and we will see you next week.
I like to look into movies like, man, what if this is like part 2 or part 3 to Peggy Sue got married? They got divorced, and he's just a fucking drunk now, and he met this chick Mandy. You know?
So he's actually the same.
Yeah,
he's
it's the same character.
From Peggy
It just
Sue
makes
Got Married.
movies so much more fun.
We have Charlie, Nicole Kidman.
Narnia. As this goes on, we're gonna start dressing up as characters from the movies.
I am a huge Elijah Wood fan. I think
I thought he did a great job in Spider-Man.
Oh, man.
Spider-Man series. Thank God for Moonshine. I'm thinking about starting an Instagram just called like
I love Nick Cage.
Nicolas Cage's wigs. That's actually kind of one of the wigs from Ghost Rider.
And cut.
And scene.
Did we introduce ourselves okay?
No.
Dude. Strobe! Yeah.
Probably gonna do more than 3 shots. So don't use all of them. Because it's making me feel really cool. And I just don't want to fucking
It's
get
making me
talking.
feel cool.
Like, I can see us getting at least 10 people watching this. Dude, don't you even fuck around with Love Actually.
Is y'all juice still?
Yeah, he's like, what, 82?
80 and buff.
It's like 82 and hung like a fucking 12-year-old. Well, that's it. I'm done with you.
Dude,
Love Actually is one of the greatest romantic comedies ever filmed.
look, next to
Besides Lord of the Rings.